Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where today we are back in the city of Westwood, and literally, as I was just got past the outro, we finally got to enough workers here. So that means we're going to tear the whole thing down. I know, no, not quite all of it. We're going to, first of all, get rid of these barracks that are in these squares. We're going to leave the other ones. And then we're going to get rid of these guys because we're going to go for the higher density ones, but we are going to get rid of all these dudes as well. So lots of noise to start out the video. I added in a couple of these dudes just because they were encroaching a little bit on the farm with the trees right there. So I added some storage right there. We're going to leave all this storage right here. Real quick though, look what's happening over here. We finally have enough students, so we should be able to upgrade both the forestry and the industry today. That is what I'm hoping. I'm just going to get some trees back in here. I've got the forestry currently unlocked. Going to make this all nice and dense. Except maybe not right here at the railroad, because then the train will hit its poor little head on the trees. Cool. I mean, I could put some here, but they're just going to look all withered and gross. Plus, we're going to put some big buildings there. Anyway, I've already worked out via my spreadsheet that I've referenced many, many times what I want, and that is going to be 9 sapling fields. And we're going to put those up here. Let's get this one in so we know where that one goes and that one goes. And then we'll move these off of the same road, because I don't want them on the same road, because that causes traffic problems. Industry does produce some traffic, but it's real easy if you balance. I mean, look at my farm. Does this look like the amount of traffic you normally see people have in Cities Skylines farm? This isn't farm traffic. Well, some of it might be. This is not what people are used to seeing from a farm in Cities Skylines. And that's just because I've balanced my producers, my processors, and my unique factory so that I don't have trucks really leaving the area. And you also don't build things like, I really shouldn't have built these boom, boom, boom right back to each other. Because if you build just kind of stagger them out just a little bit, you will decrease the frequency of traffic jams, because they all are producing on different cycles at that point. It works. I promise you it works. I've had so many naysayers. It's like, no, it's no way. You're just going to have it. You don't have to accept a lot of traffic from industry in City Skylines. These guys are probably going to complain about not enough natural resources because they are overriding most of the trees. Well, not overriding, tearing them down. But we're now going to come in with the brush and just fill in. Oh, okay. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it this way. We're going to spam trees a different way by just holding down on the left mouse button and plopping in a bunch of trees. We're going to go up there on that corner. There we go. Just all the sides. Just get as many trees in there as we can, which is to say a lot. I could probably even, like, if I'm really patient, probably find a little gap here and there. Yeah, I can. Just a matter of getting it right there on that little fine line where it'll let me plant a tree. Granted, the trucks are probably all crashing into trees at this point, but I got this one spaced wrong, but oh well. I put it over to the side a little bit. Say on that one. That might help it not complain. I actually don't see any of them complaining about not enough natural resources, so I'm just going to worry about these bigger borders just to get them all, to ensure that we're getting the maximum production out of them. Because if they've only got a little bit of access to natural resources, they will work. They just won't produce at their highest potential. So we'll do that, and then we'll jump into here and we'll look at our forestry. It is, game's being laggy. It is a bit rough in a couple of those areas. Why is the game being so laggy? What is it unhappy about? The number of trees? Probably. So 11,648. These are supposed to produce 11,200. You're at 15,000. You're at 16,000. You're at 14,000. You're at 14,000. You're at 9,000. So these two could really use more trees. Oof. Okay, well, let's find that thin blue line here. Not the one for police, because, well, don't get me started. Come on. I had it, and then it went away. There we go. Just kind of wiggle a mouse back and forth, and it will eventually plant a tree or two in here. Any little thing I can do to get the amount of forestry in this area increased. So it's really happy to go along that line. Well, it was. It's weird that it sees these as individual squares when it's one big piece of property over there on that. But hey, what are you going to do? Come on. Come on. You're there. Ah. Oh, okay. Did that help you at all? Yeah, I brought you up a little bit. You're still down a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so that gets those in. Now I want to come in here to these guys. And for engineered wood, I would like 11 of these. So there's 8 of them right off the bat. And then 9. Let's go, no, not off that road. 10 and 11. And then I think I might give them one more bit of storage just to be sure they have enough. That's all plain timber. And I'm going to move the paper storage over to here-ish. Up there. A little bit far for those guys to go, but it should be okay. I could actually move that. But no, I couldn't, because I also need to now come in and get 11 of these duders. And they're a lot bigger. Let's run them to the edges here. So that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I can't really get any more storage in unless I go like right here with it. Which I could do that. That'll be fine. So yeah, let's do that. Let's add one more for paper as well. Let's make this one set to plain to timber. So now we've got 2 different places for plain timber to go. We've got the warehouse for his unique products. Went ahead and crank that up. They're going to complain about not enough resources for a little while. They'll get over it, I promise. So let's give them storage here for paper. And then in these other squares, let's look at our efficiency bonus from barracks. Let's go ahead and throw in a couple more barracks. Just up in these corners up here. And then also I want to get in a maintenance building or 2, but oof, they're big. They're very big. Big boys. Okay, let's shove you. Actually, let's shove you way to over here. I think that'll be fine. And then get some room for just a couple maintenance buildings in here. And maybe one more barracks. There. I think that works nicely. Oh, no water, eh? I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, then. I can deal with that. Maybe. We can get one more in on this side, but not the other side. But we can come over to here, where we once had water towers, and add another one. Now you should be good. Yeah, now you're good. And we've got 988 workers over here, which is nice. Our unemployment's still nice and low, so it's kind of cool that we're seeing that. Of course, it's losing money right now because for the longest time, it wasn't producing anything. Give it time and everything will go. So 15,000, 16,000, 14,000, 14,000, 13,000. We should be all right. We should have just enough timber. I actually only needed 5 of these. I went ahead and built the 6th one just because I knew they wouldn't all operate at their maximum efficiency. So if anything, we'll just wind up exporting just a little bit more than what we're producing, but that's okay. And then for raw forestry products, I'm just going to add in storage if I can. I don't know that it's going to fit. Maybe we'll do like a couple of these dudes, and then maybe like one of these dudes. And then maybe even a little bit more storage there. And we'll just leave a big bunch of trees there because now I want to come in and paint a district. But I want to be sure that I'm not getting up into this area. So that district is going to come through here a little bit up into here, so I'm not going to have the cleanest of lines. And then it's going to come up here and just connect right there. And come up here. Back down again. And I know you can see where this is going. We're going to add in this all zoned as just generic forestry, which I just realized doesn't have anywhere for me to put storage. So we're going to have to find a spot for that. Probably just stick it out over here to the end. So I do want to run this up to the highway here. So make sure we're getting that. Not really going to put any there, so I don't want to encroach on those trees. It's not going to be the biggest of districts, but it's something just to get us some more production of forestry goods. And yeah, we'll just like run a building right there. We will set that to zoned forestry. And even though we don't have any industrial need, we're going to come through here and add some buildings. Let's go with some right there and a whole chunk right there, and we can do a pretty good chunk there, and we can do a pretty good chunk down here. I guess we could do where these are all going to be, this is all going to be polluted eventually anyway from these dudes, so we don't really want to take too much from them. I don't really want to build on the collector there. I did get the district to go there. I did. So I'm going to be careful. Let's see. So the district is about what? Roughly to the edge of that building. So as long as I don't zone anything past the end of that, we're good. And then we'll get a little bit more back here, but I'm going to back it off just a little bit from the workers' barracks just to give them a little peace and quiet. I don't even know that these are going to be that okay, because those trees are probably going to wind up being polluted because of these dudes. They produce quite a bit of pollution. Though I think it's a good time. We are building quite a bit of pollution. We're making a lot of money in the city. I think it's worth investing it to reduce the amount of pollution that we're putting out. And we should see that take a fairly immediate effect. Yeah, that's looking good. You can see it starting to shrink just a little bit with each little tick. We're still at 4%. God, look at all the regular industrial traffic. It's regular industry that produces all your traffic. Like, look, the farm, nothing. Forestry, nothing. It's great because it's all balanced, but you can't balance these. The only way you can balance them is make sure that you are not importing or exporting goods. And we're doing a little bit of both. We're actually at a pretty good equilibrium right now. But anyways, our trade school is also where we want it to be. So we're going to pause because we're going to tear down most of the trade school. I'll leave that groundskeeping building. It's fine. But most of this has to go. Which is going to temporarily set back our student population, but it'll rebound pretty fast. Coming here into education and our final building. So we've already got the one that helps law enforcement. We've already got the one that helps the commercial. This one actually reduces city water consumption and sewage while increasing zoned industry income. Kind of not a bad thing to have. And I'm really thinking that what we should do here is get rid of that. Move this guy back here. Kind of center him up a little bit. Or we can just shove him to the side and still have one road. Yeah, we're going to shove him to one side and have road. And then here we're going to have a pretty long gap. And we're going to get him all the way to this edge. And then that'll let me bring the path on across. Like so. And I can even run it right behind there, which is kind of nice. Excuse me. And then up here. So let's see. That has us at a whopping 420 attractiveness. So we can come over here to this area and finally finish it. With the other academic statue right on this corner, like so, and then another fountain to give us some symmetry. That will go just as close to this edge as it can. I just want to get it right in there. There we go. And then we've unlocked the Technology Museum. I want it right next to that fountain. I could bring it up here, actually. By bringing it up off of there, what I'm doing is enabling a pathway to come through here, because that just goes right behind there just fine. It clips the edge of that. I'm okay with turning the anarchy on to solve that problem. And then we can even run... Let's back this off a couple just to give that some breathing space. Come on, follow the grid. Here. No, grid. Fine. Fine. If you're going to make me do it the hard way, I'll do it the hard way. So we've got nice walking path connectivity all throughout here. You can get from here on a path, come up through here, come down through there, and get all the way over there. All on walking paths. And I'm not going to zone anything inside of here. We'll just decorate it up with trees and different props and things like that. That'll come at a later time, but this is a nice little tourist attraction, which should help our city attractiveness a little bit, except it didn't. Maybe it will once we're unpaused, who knows. Right now it didn't. So let's get this road back in that I destroyed. It's also... Why you keep showing up over there, I don't know. That's not where you live. And then up here, we're going to start addressing some of this attractiveness score. What I want to do is in the middle. Let's turn Anarchy off so I know that they're all right up against the edge here. And I'm just going to find that one pixel. There we go. I'm going to do fountains in the corner. Against that road so that they at least have some visual continuity. Fountains in the corner. Like that. And then we're going to come through with each statue on the sides. Kind of span them out just right. And run those in there. And then what I'm hoping will fit, even though it's going to add student capacity, yeah, this will fit. So that's, I need to bring a path in. Oh, gosh, I wish I knew how far away that was. It's about 2 tiles. So I've got about 6 to deal with. So I need to bring a path in about 3, I believe. And then it would help to click the right button and then go back in here. I know it increases capacity, but for now I think we're going to need it. Yeah, that's perfect. That is the number we wanted. And I'm going to center that up nicely. And then I think this guy has connections that you can make into it. So let's actually, now that that's there, let's rethink where we want our path to go here. We would want it to do something more like this. Yep. I know you don't have a connection. Just give me a minute. And I think that's a nice looking area leading up to your main administration building. I think that looks fantastic. The other thing we want to get in here that'll help with the attractiveness, and I don't want to increase capacity though. Let's look at our capacity. 4,050, and our total student population is 3,000, and I don't think it's going to get too much bigger with these areas growing in. So I think we're good on capacity. We're also up to 970 of our 800. I could get some of that by turning on some of our policies, but I'm not going to. If I had some sporting arenas, that would help, because that gives us some attractiveness, but I don't want those in this area. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to add in some of the buildings that don't add any capacity. One of those is the bookstore, which is here. And let's throw one of those in to each side of these buildings. Maybe move this over as well, since we can't zone that whole area. So that gives us a couple bookstores. Brings us up to 1,070. We could maybe even come over here in the area here, in the area right next to this, and throw in a bookstore, maybe right behind it, or maybe right here. Let's go with one right here. Let's get rid of just a couple houses. Just right after graduation, people can come over here and, you know, be like, Mom, I need one more sweatshirt to memorialize my time in college, or, you know, pick up one for your little brother type thing. So that should get us well on our way. Yeah, 12. We're doing good. We're doing good work here. Now, to finish this off, we should be able to do... I want to do this statue here. Again, it's a lot of statues, but I'm okay with that because I'm not really happy with the way that attractiveness is a requirement for the campuses. I think it's kind of silly. Yeah, I know some people do look at a campus and be like, wow, it's a really nice place to be, and I'm glad that campuses encourage the arts. But at the same time, is that really the thing you're going to determine what school you go to on? I don't know. I didn't. A campus wasn't hideous, but it wasn't the prettiest place to be either. So, I don't know. It just seems like a silly thing to do to me. Not do to me, but do, to me, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So here I want to go statue, and then I want to repeat that over on this side, kind of like as you're entering the campus, there's some works of art. I wouldn't mind doing this. This wouldn't bother me so much if we had more variety of just attractive buildings that didn't add a massive, massive amount of capacity to the school. Because it winds up overbuilding your schools having all of that capacity, and then you don't get to take advantage of all the school systems in one city. There we go, 1945. That will do it. Got all the academic works. For a minute, the student population is going to dip down, but it'll bounce right back. It will be just fine. So in one video, we've gone and added a 5-star campus and a 5-star forestry industry, which should now be, running just fine. They are importing a little bit because I added a lot more storage, and these guys hadn't started cranking out anything yet. That's to be expected, and I'm not too terribly worried about it. So you're doing 12, you're doing 15, 7. Yeah, we need to add some trees around the borders here. And that should bump those guys up nicely. And then I'm just going to run with the tool all across here and make this a lovely, thick, lush forest. It may be overkill, but oh well. Awesome. And we even have some industries starting to pop in. Which, unemployment's coming up. We will have to tackle that problem. But we will have to probably tackle that problem at a different time. But we can go ahead and get a bit more stuff in here. Let's see. Where's my district run? Oh, just my regular district. Right. This whole area. Okay. Excuse me. So, we've got this area beside these large buildings. I'm of a mixed mind here of whether I want to put commercial in here. I think what I'll do is just go on these corners. I kind of like that there's a view to these buildings. In fact, I want to go ahead and break up these long blocks while I see the problem. We will bring in a path right near that crosswalk, and there is no crosswalk here, but there may wind up being later. And that'll just give us a little bit more connectivity onto and through the campus, so they can come through here, and we can add a crosswalk here if we want to. That might not be a bad idea. There is one. There's not one there. Let's add a few crosswalks. Bring up node controller, and there's already a node there, so let's just turn that one into a crossing. This is just adding an extra node. And then same thing here. It's not exactly right by the path, but I'm okay with that. And then up here, yeah, we'll turn these two into crossings as well, so that people can get across there easily. And then up here, we've already got crosswalks, so we're good to go. Oh, hi. I wasn't expecting that. I was not even paying attention to population. I would really like to have a path that ran through here, but it's going to say space already occupied. But if I do it, what does it look like? I think it's all right. I don't think it really clips into that asset in any meaningful way. So that just gives us a little bit of added connectivity through there. And then we'll do the same thing here where there is a node already. Just add a crosswalk, and same thing over here. And I just think that's going to really just bring the area to life and get a lot of people walking. I mean, like, look at this. Look at how many people are actually using our pedestrian walkways, and that makes me very happy. Speaking of, did we ever... Yeah, we encouraged biking. Okay. Just wanted to be sure that we had done the encourage biking thing. So before we wrap it up, even though we don't have a massive amount of demand for a lot of stuff right now, I want to go ahead and zone in the rest of this. Starting with, I think some offices would actually complement the campus, especially with this larger building right there. I think that would look nice right there. We're going to do a bit of commercial right here. Just a tiny bit. Probably a little bit here by the bookstore and by this bookstore. And then all along our collector here. No, not here. Not where that building is. I want to just leave that and we'll decorate it. I'm tempted to add it here, but I kind of like this just being as it is. And then we'll do residential for the rest of this. And we've already got bus lines going through there, so that's awesome. So I am going to take a look. What did we just unlock? Eco Advanced Inland Water Plant. So we're now going to replace these. I'm going to pause to do this, because these are just the regular ones which pollute more. And I want to put in the ones that do less of the poop into the ground. First of all, let's turn Anarchy off. Let's get rid of the pipelines that are there, because I don't know that it lines up exactly. Not 100% certain on that. And we should just be able to replace it with the same number. 6 should get us done. And the pipes may have fit. I don't know, that may have been a waste of money, but we have nearly $16 million sitting in the bank, so I think it's okay. Cool, so let's take a look at pollution. Actually, that gave us a huge boost, which is kind of cool. One of these days, I'm going to sit down and figure out how to put all these together in something that looks really nice, but that day is not today. I wonder if I should do pumping service. We haven't had any flooding, so I'm not going to worry about it for now. You exporting, you're exporting, you exporting, you're exporting. That's awesome. Speaking of imports and exports, we're already starting to see a decrease on the forestry and an increase in exports there. We're doing great with everything else. One thing that we could add in that we don't have, and I don't know how happy they would be being so close to the sewage. And I know these things make a ton of traffic. but mail processing center does help your post offices function a little bit better. In fact, speaking of post offices, we missed a few opportunities for post offices in some of these areas, so let's get at least one more in over there. Because you start getting high density, it gets a little tougher for them to keep up. We don't have one in this neighborhood at all, so I'm going to lose an office right there, since we don't have a massive office demand. And then I want to look at just a couple little last bits of housekeeping. It's showing that we've got good fire coverage here, but we don't actually have a fire station out this direction. And I think that would be beneficial. The nearest one's way over there. And I think it'd probably be good to have some police coverage out here as well. Yeah, see, that's definitely struggling. Question is, where can I get this to fit? Right here. That'll be close enough. There you go. That'll get us better police coverage out there to hopefully attract, as we get demand for some of this industry, for those to grow in a little bit. There's no healthcare out here to speak of, but that may change if we build a little neighborhood over here, which we probably will. I mean, we're at 36,000 people. We've got a ton of space still to build. This is eventually all going to become big city out towards this way with a lot of tourism happening down through there. Let's take a look and see if there's any unique buildings that we can just get in somewhere that will look kind of nice. You don't quite fit, do you? You really don't. That's kind of sad. I would like to have the big old statue. Too bad the highway is right there, because it could fit right there really nicely. Maybe, can we get it to fit over here if we lose just one bit of sidewalk? Because this is a trade school after all, and so they would be celebrating industry. So we lose a little bit of connectivity, but we also gain a tourist attraction over here. So that may make me rethink what's next to it. Yeah, we are definitely gonna take advantage of that proximity with commercial, since this will be tourists coming in. So we lost a tiny bit of connectivity, but it's not too bad. So that gets us one of them, and I do build the Eden Project. It's something I really like, and I eventually build the space elevator. So where could we get the Statue of Wealth that's situated? Oh, I know where we get the Statue of Wealth, because I know it fits in our grid. We can see it fits in our grid. So we can get the Statue of Wealth in kind of over here by, like, one of these areas for now. Actually, I'm not going to put it off the collector. I'm going to go ahead and put this road in. That's where it'll go. And then we'll have this situated slightly off the collector. There we go. Medical center is another one that I like. So let's plop it down by a hospital. A hospital that's close to some commercial. So there we go. There's one that is close to some commercial. So that's a nice synergy for those. And then Hadron Collider, maybe. What does the Hadron Collider do? I don't remember. Is that the education one? I think so. I don't really do the fusion power plant. So this is the Statue of Shopping, which again, kind of makes me think of commercial. So let's just throw it down here and buy some commercial. We will lose a few buildings. But this will start boosting our tourism a little bit, making the city a bit more attractive. We were at 31%, now we're at 42%, and that should see a boost in our tourists. Yep, we're up to 444. We were just below 400 when I started the video. I checked between videos. And so we've got some areas that are looking somewhat appealing to our tourists. One last thing. I know I keep saying one last thing, but one last thing. Let's help out our parks. Let's remember what button to help out our parks. I'm really hoping, yeah, that'll fit in right there nicely. And he should be able to get that all taken care of. I just noticed somebody complaining about garbage. We have processing status, but we could probably do with a bit more. Let's throw one in down here. It won't hurt anything, and it'll help get that side covered, and this one can go that way. And that should... Oh, I only got landfill storage. landfill storage is twice our garbage production. Well, not quite twice, but close. So our processing is what's kind of holding us back, which I thought this dude had massive processing. Thought he could do just tons and tons and tons. Maybe I was wrong. But I think the city is in a fantastic spot, except for, this fire that's happening up here. I really love this campus area being separated out from the rest of the campus. It kind of makes it feel like your graduation is a nice event. Just not just some extra building they crammed on the campus somewhere. It's over here in this lovely little neighborhood with a nice little statue, a museum, just a destination, a place to go. And we will, of course, make that a lot better and fill it in with some trees and just give it that sense of occasion. But that'll all come next time, or maybe the time after that, or maybe 10 episodes from when I finally remember it. Who knows? But until next time, I'm Brandon. Wow, that's a lot of people coming in on train. Reminding you to stay vainglorious.